A lot still has to be accomplished before the U.S. puts the first woman and the first person of color on the surface of the moon. One of the big challenges is a new spacesuit. That challenge now belongs to a relatively new space company that recently won the $230 million contract to build the moonsuit that is called the XEVAS.
Welcome to the live broadcast of the launch of Axiom Mission 1.
Axiom Space has already sent the first private astronaut mission to the space station, and the company has big plans, including building its own private space station. Mark Greeley runs the EVA, Extravehicular Activity Program for Axiom Space. I think a lot of people are probably thinking, well, we did this 50 plus years ago. What's so hard about it?
Well, I don't think it was easy 50 years ago, and today we're sure a lot smarter about the lunar needs for EVA. Our suit will incorporate many things, like it is much more agile, so it improves mobility, much improved thermal performance. When we did Apollo EVAs, we did them along the equator, so the environment was much more consistent. We have a much broader thermal capability, so we can do EVAs in many more locations with our design. Our avionics have improved significantly, and we have higher reliability of components. So you can do a longer EVA, you can go further away from the vehicle and safely return.
NASA did a lot of work on its own for several years there, where they didn't contract with anybody to work on spacesuits, XEMU. They did a lot of research, and they're now giving this to you, and if another contractor gets involved in other parts of this contract, is that helpful? I mean, how much of the work have they done for you, and what do you need to do?
Extremely helpful. NASA made a significant amount of progress over the last 10 to 15 years on the design that we're going to iterate on. So there are a few areas where solutions still have to be realized, but NASA's work is a big part of what we're going to carry forward.
The suits have to work. The astronauts have to be able to maintain and repair, because you can't send it home to have somebody fix it. You need to make a robust suit that's going to work up there.
This is another area where accolades go to NASA. They had a team of forward thinkers, really give thoughtful consideration to how do we design, the backpack being the most complex, how do we design a backpack that enables you to do repairs or replacement on orbit? And I would liken the backpack to the base plate is like a circuit board, and you can take things on, take things off, put things on. It's literally plug and play, and everything has dual redundancy. So the design is really easy to do replacements and be able to do EVAs very quickly.
There are two contractor groups competing for the two types of suits NASA needs: the suit for walking on the moon and a second suit for spacewalks outside the ISS or other orbiting habitats. Axiom's been planning to build its own spacewalking suit to use on its private space station. The surprise is that Axiom beat out the legacy maker of moonwalking suits, the group led by Collins Aerospace, including ILC Dover, which built the Apollo suits. Before Axiom was chosen, I talked to David Graziosi, who works for ILC Dover. It still hopes to stay in the game with that second contract.
Clearly NASA, is trying to spur the commercial space industry, right? And in giving two of these awards, but it is yet to be seen on which one or both that we're working on.
Burns are nominal so far. SpaceX Dragon Endeavour and the first private astronaut crew, AX-1, separating from the International Space Station, concluding.
Axiom hopes to get that second contract as well. The company believes it has a good chance because it bid a single architecture for both suits. Rather than the long-used waist entry suit, Axiom bid a rear entry suit. In the future, such a spacesuit could be attached to what's called a suit port, On a rover or a space station, it stays on the outside and is entered from the pressurized vehicle. The space station suit is still out there. I take it you guys would like to do that as much as you want to do the moon suit.
Absolutely. We bid a single architecture, and you add a few components, take a few components off, and you can either do an EVA in LEO or you can do an EVA on the moon. So it would be our hope that that we're able to build the LEO suit as well. And regardless, we'll build a LEO suit for Axiom's commercial space station and likely other commercial companies that have the same need.
Our baseline architecture really for NextEMU is a waste entry system with the option for rear, and that option really comes down to NASA has basically still scarred in for if they want to do suit port later in sort of the long-term lunar missions, then you have to be rear entry. And so we've got both systems already well down the development path and could bring to bear the rear entry if need be.
While the two competing groups of companies wait for NASA to decide who will build the new space station suit, Axiom knows it doesn't have a lot of time to build that moon suit. So when will astronauts be walking around in an Axiom spacesuit on the moon?
38 months from now. We deliver in 32 months.
Have you counted it down in days and weeks yet?
Yes, we will be hanging a countdown clock in our facility very soon.
A NASA decision on the second contract for a spacesuit is expected soon. I'm David Curley. That's Full Throttle.